the Grammy Awards, an award event that started back in 1959 and since then became a major highlight in the music world each year. The awards are set to recognize artists from a wide range of different genres presented by the Recording Academy. The Grammy Award is considered to be the highest achievement for musicians in the industry, organized into categories such as Song of the Year, Best Latin Pop Album, Best Rap Performance, Best Pop Duo/Group Performance, and more. However, like any other award event, there are moments when someone whose project was very successful, but they lose that category or they're left with nothing. Which brings me to this video, where I'll discuss some moments I think an artist should have won an award their song or album were nominated for. Praying by Kesha, a pop ballad that was nominated in 2017 for Best Pop Solo Performance, but lost to Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. Although Shape of You was a successful big hit and was #1 for 12 weeks, I think Praying by Kesha or any song in this category should have won instead, especially since it showed the public a different side of Kesha and her artistry, not to mention the story behind the song. Now, if this was for Song of the Year, then I could see this song winning, but I guess because Shape of You was the biggest hit in this list, that's why it won. And it's not to say that Shape of You is a bad song, I just feel even to this day that Praying should have won instead. Despacito by Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee featuring Justin Bieber, a reggaeton Latin pop song that was nominated in 2017 for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Pop Duo/Group Performance, but lost in all three categories, which is strange for being such a worldwide smash hit that was doing numbers and breaking records such as most weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot Latin Songs chart, most streamed track worldwide, and more. The song should have at least won 2 of these or at least 1 of these, such as Record of the Year or Song of the Year, and also it was #1 for 16 weeks on the US Billboard Hot 100 charts. Beyonce by Beyonce, Beyonce's self-titled 5th studio album that was nominated in 2014 for Best Urban Contemporary Album, Album of the Year, and Best Surround Sound Album, which she won that one along with 2 other Grammys for Drunk in Love. However, the surprising one that she didn't win was Album of the Year, and it's not to say that Morning Phase by Beck is a bad album, but for an album that was released as a surprise with no one knowing till it was released on a Friday, with a music video for each song, and it was also from this release that new music releases switched from Tuesday to Friday, not to mention the amount of conversation and attention this brought to the industry and public. So for an award that is titled Album of the Year, it makes more sense for Beyonce's album to win it. Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo, a pop alternative ballad that got nominated in 2021 for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Pop Solo Performance, which she did win that one, but the one I wanted to talk about is Song of the Year. Though Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic was a big success that year and also had a viral moment on TikTok, I think Driver's License had a bigger impact, not just on TikTok but just how this song skyrocketed Olivia into superstardom, which at the time seemed to be overnight. The world instantly got to know who she was from this song, and it was this song that had many talking and listening and even praising the bridge. So I think for a Song of the Year, I think this made more sense to win that award. Barbie World by Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice, and Aqua, a hip-hop pop song that got nominated in 2024 for Best Song Written for a Visual Media and Best Rap Song. And the one that surprised me the most that it lost was for Best Rap Song, because when looking at this list, it was obvious that Barbie World was the biggest rap song, not to mention it peaked at #7 on the US Billboard Hot 100 charts. So for a song that had that much success, it's strange to me that it lost. Now I do know there's a reason why Nicki has yet to even receive a Grammy, which I don't think it's a fair reason at all. I would explain why, but I can't remember the exact details, but there are videos on YouTube and TikTok that explain this really well that I highly recommend looking up. I'm just going to say that they need to stop ignoring her achievements, and since we're on the topic, I think Anaconda, that got nominated in 2014 for Best Rap Song, should have gotten that award as well. Thank You Next by Ariana Grande, Ariana's 5th studio album, an iconic era with success and impact that had 2 #1 hits on the US Billboard Hot 100 charts, 7 Rings and Thank You Next, along with Break Up With Your Girlfriend on Board, which peaked at #2. But despite receiving 5 nominations in the 2020 Grammys, she won nothing, which doesn't make sense at all. And the 2 awards that I think she should have at least won were for Best Pop Vocal Album and Album of the Year, which Billie Eilish, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, won both categories, which is a great body of work and one of the best albums of 2019. So for best pop vocal album, I do think that Billie did deserve it. However, for album of the year, it made more sense for Thank You Next to win at least. Although When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go was also successful and marked Billie's breakthrough into mainstream, but Thank You Next was a bigger moment, especially with the general public. Even Billie expressed that she was surprised when she received her award and said Ariana deserved it, which Ariana didn't mind. She was happy Billie won and showed support because Billie should be proud. It is a great album, sonically unique, has a style that only Billie can pull off, and with its success it also deserves album of the year, so there's no denying that this album isn't qualified to receive album of the year. It definitely does. But what's troubling about this whole thing is that Ariana got nothing. She should have at least gotten something, even record of the year or even pop solo performance for 7 Rings. Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. Katy Perry's second studio album, a pop classic that had 5 #1 hits that got nominated in 2011 for Pop Vocal Album and Album of the Year, but lost to both. Of course, 2010 was a big year for pop albums such as Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber. So seeing how Gaga won for Pop Vocal Album for The Fame Monster, which had hit songs such as Bad Romance and Telephone, it made sense for her to win. And even if she didn't, there was also Justin Bieber, My World 2.0, which was also very successful. Now the award I feel Katy could have won was Album of the Year, which The Suburbs by Arcade Fire won, just from all the success it had and how Katy's music was everywhere during this era. Not to mention the impact this era had, it just made more sense for this to have Album of the Year. And since we're in the year of 2011 Grammys, another Grammy Katy could have won was for California Girls with Snoop Dogg for Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals, an award that Imagine by Herbie Hancock won. But the thing is, when looking at the nominees, there was also 2 other songs I think that could have also won as well, such as Telephone by Lady Gaga and Beyonce, Airplanes 2 by B.O.B., Eminem, and Hayley Williams. So between those 3, I think either one of those could have won. Now I know when it comes to the Grammys, they go by requirements of the award, and it doesn't matter how long this song has been at #1 or how many records it's broke. There's just more to it than that. Just that when you see like Song of the Year or Record of the Year, well, Record of the Year, it's what? It's the mixing and the production or something like that. To me personally, as long as the album that is chosen to win or the song that is chosen to win was one of the biggest things of that year, I think that's all that matters at this point, because the Grammys have all these weird ways of doing things and we've seen it if you look throughout history and stuff. Here's my guess of how this works. When they already choose which one should be nominated, I guess they start having people voting, okay, out of all these songs, which one do you think should win? And based on the song that gets voted more, that's the one that wins. It's not so much that, oh, this song was the biggest one, this is the winner. No, I think it's more based on that. At least that's my guess on how it works. I do plan to do another video about the Grammys in terms of like artists that have been snubbed. I wanted to put it in this video, but I just thought I'd make it 2 separate videos. It is on my list, so be on the lookout for that. So what are your thoughts on some of the moments I mentioned in this list? And what's a moment in the Grammys you feel a song, artist, or album that was nominated that didn't win that category should have won? You can share it down below in the comments. Now if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.